My name is Sarah Foster, and I'm 58 years old. 3 months ago, I gave my son $13,000 to save his wife from dangerous debt collectors, money I'd saved for my dream trip to Italy. I canceled everything, lost deposits, ate instant noodles for weeks. Then I discovered they'd used every penny for a luxury Caribbean cruise with her mother, posting photos mocking boring old people, like me. What they didn't know was that my late husband left me more than just memories. At their welcome home party, with 30 guests watching, I revealed something that made my daughter-in-law scream until the neighbors called. But I'm getting ahead of myself. If you're watching this, please subscribe and let me know where you're watching from. I love hearing from people who understand that family isn't supposed to treat you like an ATM. Let me tell you exactly how it all happened. 2 years had passed since Tom died. 2 long years of eating dinner alone, watching TV shows we used to enjoy together, and pretending I was fine when Michael called, which wasn't often. My son lived 40 minutes away with his wife Jessica, but I saw them maybe once every 2 months, usually when they needed something. "Mom's doing great," I'd hear Michael tell his friends at the rare family gatherings. "She's tough as nails." Tough as nails. That's what you become when you're grieving alone, when your only child treats visits like obligations to check off a list. So I decided to do something for myself. Italy. I'd always dreamed of walking through Florence, tasting real gelato in Rome, seeing the canals of Venice. Tom and I had planned to go for our 40th anniversary, but cancer had other plans. Now, with some of the money Tom left me, though I never told anyone exactly how much he'd left, I booked 3 weeks in Italy. Every detail planned, every hotel paid for, every tour scheduled. The truth was, Tom had been smarter than anyone knew. As CFO of a tech company that went public, he'd set up a trust fund worth $2 million. But I kept that secret, living modestly, driving my 10-year-old Honda, shopping sales. Maybe I was testing them. Maybe I was protecting myself. Maybe both. Jessica never missed a chance to make little digs about my frugal lifestyle. "Sarah, you should treat yourself more," she'd say, eyeing my clearance rack dress while flashing her designer bag. "Life's too short to be so careful with money." Her mother Linda was worse. At last Christmas dinner, she'd actually said, "Some people just don't know how to enjoy life. They'd rather hoard their pennies than make memories." Michael just sat there, saying nothing, the way he always did when his wife or her mother insulted me. I spent months preparing for Italy, learning basic Italian phrases, reading about the history, buying comfortable walking shoes and a new camera. For the first time in 2 years, I felt excited about something alive. My flight was set for Monday morning. Sunday evening, I was packing my last few items, humming an old Italian song Tom used to play when my phone rang at 11 p.m. The caller ID showed Michael's face, a photo from 5 years ago when he still smiled at me like I mattered. "Mom?" His voice was thick, strangled. "Mom, I need you." My hands went cold. "Michael, what's wrong? Are you hurt?" "It's Jessica. Mom, we're in trouble. Real trouble." I sank onto my bed, the half-folded sundress forgotten in my hands. "What kind of trouble?" She borrowed money. From the wrong people. Mom, they came to our house today." "Who came to your house?" "These men. They said if we don't pay by tomorrow, they'll—" "God, Mom, they know where we live. They know where Jessica works. They know everything." My heart was hammering now. Whatever I thought of Jessica, she was my son's wife, and Michael, despite everything, he was still my baby boy. "How much?" I asked quietly. $13,000. The exact amount I'd saved for Italy. $13,000, Michael repeated, and I could hear him crying now, my 32-year-old son sobbing like when he was 8 and broke his arm falling off his bike. "Mom, I'm so scared." "Michael, slow down. Tell me exactly what happened." "Jessica, she got into online gambling during COVID. She said it was just for fun, small bets, but it got worse. She kept thinking she could win it back, and she borrowed from this loan shark her cousin knew." "Her cousin knew a loan shark?" "I know how it sounds, but Mom, these people don't mess around. They said they'll hurt her if we don't pay by tomorrow noon." I stood up, pacing my small bedroom. The moonlight through the window illuminated my packed suitcase, my passport on the nightstand. "Have you gone to the police?" "We can't. They said if we involve cops, it'll be worse. Mom, they showed Jessica a photo of her at her yoga class. They've been watching her." My mind raced. This didn't sound quite right, but the terror in Michael's voice was real. "Where's Jessica now?" "She's here, crying in the bathroom. She won't come out. Mom, I don't know what to do. We don't have anything. Our credit cards are maxed. We already borrowed from her mom last month for the mortgage." "You borrowed from Linda?" "Just $5,000, but she doesn't have any more." "Mom, please. I know you've been saving for Italy. I know it means everything to you, but you want me to cancel my trip." Silence. Then, barely a whisper. "Could you?" "Mom, I swear we'll pay you back. Every penny. I'll get a second job. Jessica will too. We'll sign a contract, whatever you want. But we need this money tomorrow or they'll hurt her. Maybe both of us." I looked at my beautiful Italian guidebooks, bookmarked and annotated, my new walking shoes, the journal I'd bought to document my adventure. 2 years of planning, 2 years of dreams. "Mom, are you there? What about asking Jessica's mother? Surely Linda—" "She's tapped out, Mom, and she's already furious about the $5,000. Please, you're our only hope." I heard muffled voices in the background. Jessica's voice, high and hysterical. "Is she going to help? Oh God, what if she says no?" "Mom," Michael said, "they know our address. They know your address too. They mentioned you live alone." That stopped my breath. "They threatened me?" "Not directly, but, Mom, these people are dangerous. I can't lose Jessica. I can't lose you. Please." I closed my eyes. Every maternal instinct screamed at me to protect my child. Even if he barely visited, even if his wife treated me like an inconvenience, he was still my son. "I'll transfer the money tonight," I heard myself say. "Really? Oh God, Mom, thank you. Thank you so much." "Send me the account information. I'll do it right now." "Mom, I love you. I'm so sorry about Italy. I know how much it meant to you." Did he? Did he really? "We'll make it up to you," he continued. "Jessica wants to say thank you too. Just send the account details, Michael. I need to call the airline and cancel everything." "Mom, you're saving our lives, literally saving our lives." After I hung up, I sat in the darkness for a long moment. Then I opened my laptop and began the painful process of canceling my dream. The airline charged me $800 in cancellation fees. The hotels kept their deposits, another $1,500 gone. The tour company only refunded half. By the time I finished canceling everything at 2 a.m., I'd lost nearly $3,000 just in fees. I transferred the $13,000 to Michael's account at 2:47 a.m. The bank notification felt like a punch. Transfer completed, new balance, $1,247.83. Enough for groceries and utilities until my Social Security check came through. Michael texted immediately. "Got it. Mom, you're an angel. We'll pay those men tomorrow morning. This nightmare will be over." I waited for more. A phone call, maybe. More gratitude. Details about how they'd pay me back. Instead, I got another text an hour later. "Jessica says thank you. She's finally stopped crying. We're going to bed now. We'll call you tomorrow after it's handled." Tomorrow came and went. No call. Tuesday passed. I texted Michael, "Is everything okay? Are you safe?" He replied 6 hours later, "All handled. So relieved. Been dealing with aftermath. We'll call soon." Wednesday morning, I sat at my kitchen table with a cup of instant coffee. I'd switched from my good ground coffee to save money and opened Facebook. I rarely used it, but I wanted to see if Michael had posted anything about their ordeal. He hadn't posted in days, but Jessica had. The first photo stopped my heart. Jessica, in a bright yellow bikini, holding a tropical drink with a little umbrella, standing on the deck of a cruise ship. The timestamp, Tuesday, 2 p.m. I scrolled down, my hands shaking. More photos. Jessica and Michael at the ship's pool. Jessica and her mother Linda at what looked like a formal dinner, all three of them in elegant clothes I'd never seen before. Michael throwing his head back, laughing at something off camera. The caption on one made me physically ill. Sometimes you just need to get away from all the negativity and live. Some people are too old and boring to know what living means. Cruise life. Family first. Caribbean dream. YOLO. Another post showing a spa treatment. Getting pampered with my amazing MIL at Linda Morrison. So blessed to have a mom who knows how to have fun. Her mother-in-law. Linda. Not me. I clicked on Linda's profile. More cruise photos. One showed a booking confirmation from 2 months ago. 2 months ago. They'd planned this cruise before Michael ever called me crying about loan sharks. The last photo was the worst. Jessica had posted it just an hour ago. A selfie of all 3 of them at the breakfast buffet. Michael was wearing a new Rolex. Jessica had shopping bags from the ship's luxury boutiques. Linda was showing off a pearl necklace. The caption, "Last day of paradise. Already planning our next adventure. Life's too short not to spoil yourself. BTW for all the worrywarts out there. Sometimes you have to make your own luck. Had no regrets. Sorry, not sorry." I sat there, coffee growing cold, staring at my son's smiling face. He looked happier than I'd seen him in years. $13,000, my Italy fund, my dreams, their cruise vacation. I didn't cry. That surprised me. I just sat there, scrolling through photo after photo, each one a fresh slap in the face. There was Michael parasailing, conquering my fears, while I sat home afraid for his safety. There was Jessica getting a massage, while I ate instant ramen to save money. There was Linda, raising a champagne glass in a toast, wearing earrings that looked suspiciously expensive. The comments were from Jessica's friends. "OMG, you look amazing, so jealous. Get it, girl, you deserve this. Your MIL is so cool." Her mother-in-law, Linda, who'd apparently been on this cruise the whole time, not tapped out from lending them mortgage money. I screenshot everything, every photo, every timestamp, every lying caption. My phone filled with evidence of their betrayal. Then I saw it. A video Jessica posted. I clicked play with numb fingers. "Hey everyone," Jessica giggled, clearly drunk, the ocean sparkling behind her. "Just wanted to say, life is short. Don't let anyone make you feel guilty for living your best life. Some people," she winked at the camera, "will try to keep you down with their negativity and their boring, penny-pinching ways. But you know what? That's their problem." Michael appeared in frame, trying to pull her away. "Jess, come on." "No, babe, let me finish." She laughed, pushing him playfully. "I'm just saying, when someone shows you who they are, all stingy and judgmental, believe them, and then go live your life without them." Linda's voice came from behind the camera. "Amen to that, honey. Some people would rather die with money in the bank than make memories." The video ended with all 3 of them laughing. I set my phone down carefully, afraid I might throw it otherwise. They hadn't just stolen my money. They were mocking me, publicly, while spending my $13,000. My landline rang. My neighbor, Dorothy. "Sarah, honey, did you see Facebook? Is that Michael on a cruise? I thought you said he was dealing with some emergency?" "I saw it," I said quietly. "But didn't you cancel your Italy trip to help them?" "I did." Silence. Then, "Oh, Sarah. Oh, no." "I need to go, Dorothy." "Wait, what are you going to do?" I looked at my reflection in the kitchen window. 58 years old, widowed, betrayed by my only child, mocked by the family I'd sacrificed for. "I'm going to teach them a lesson about consequences," I said. "Good for you! Give them hell!" "No," I said, surprising myself with how calm I sounded. "I'm going to give them something better. The truth. In front of everyone they know." After I hung up, I made another call. "Law offices of Hayes & Associates," the receptionist answered. "This is Sarah Foster. I need to speak with Robert Hayes about my late husband's trust. It's urgent." "One moment, Mrs. Foster." Robert's warm voice came on. "Sarah, how was Italy?" "I didn't go, but I need your help with something. Can you clear your schedule for next Friday evening?" "Of course. What's happening?" "A family reunion," I said. "Bring the trust documents, all of them." Robert Hayes had been Tom's friend before he was our lawyer. He listened to my story without interrupting, then said something that changed everything. "Sarah, what they did might constitute fraud. You have the screenshots?" "Every single one." "Good. Now, about Tom's trust. You remember the morality clause?" I'd forgotten about that. Tom, always thinking ahead, had insisted on it. Any beneficiary who committed fraud, theft, or financial abuse against me would forfeit their inheritance rights. Michael was set to receive half the trust when I died, $1 million. "He doesn't know about the trust, Robert." "I know. Tom wanted it that way. But Sarah, if you invoke the morality clause, Michael loses everything." I thought about my son's laughing face on that cruise ship. "Good. You're sure? Once we do this, there's no going back." "They planned this for 2 months, Robert. 2 months of knowing they'd trick me out of my savings. Yes, I'm sure." "All right. What do you need me to do?" "Come to a party next Friday. I'll handle the rest." After we hung up, I started planning. Not revenge. That's too simple. Justice, education, consequences. I made a list of 30 people to invite. Michael's childhood friends, our extended family, Jessica's co-workers. I found them through her Facebook. Linda's book club friends, our church congregation members. The invitations were simple. "Welcome home celebration for Michael and Jessica, Friday 7 p.m. Please join us for a special family announcement." Then I created something special, a slideshow. "Foster Family Memories," I titled it. It started innocently. Baby Michael, his first day of school, Tom teaching him to ride a bike, our last Christmas all together. Normal family photos that would make everyone smile. Then I added the screenshots. The timestamp showing the cruise was booked 2 months ago. Jessica's old and boring post. The video mocking penny pinchers. Each image carefully placed between happy family memories, creating a narrative no one could misunderstand. Michael called Thursday afternoon finally. "Hey, Mom, we're back. Exhausted but safe." "Oh, wonderful." I made my voice bright. "How did it go with those dangerous men?" "All sorted out. They took the money and left us alone. We're so relieved." "I'm so glad you're safe. By the way, I'm throwing a little welcome home party tomorrow night. Nothing fancy." Pause. "A party?" "Just family and friends. I want everyone to know how brave you both were dealing with such danger." "Mom, that's really not necessary." "Nonsense. After what you've been through, everyone's already invited. 7 p.m. "Who's everyone?" "Oh, you know, the Johnsons, Aunt Ruth, your friends from college, some people from church, about 30 people. They're all so worried about you." Another pause. I could practically hear him sweating. "Mom, really, we're tired from the stress." "1 hour, that's all. Let people see you're okay." He couldn't refuse without looking suspicious. "Okay, we'll be there." Perfect. I need to pause here for just a moment. If you've ever been taken advantage of by family, if you've ever given everything only to be mocked for it, then you know the gut punch I felt. Please, leave a comment sharing your story. It helps to know we're not alone in this. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. I share these stories because boundaries matter, even with family, especially with family. Now let me tell you about the party that changed everything. Because what happened when those 30 guests saw the truth? Even I didn't expect Jessica's reaction. Friday arrived gray and drizzly, perfect for what was coming. I spent the morning cooking. Michael's favorite lasagna, the spinach dip Jessica always requested at holidays, Linda's beloved 7-layer salad. Let no one say I wasn't a gracious hostess. I'd borrowed Dorothy's projector and set it up facing the living room's largest wall. The slideshow was ready, titled innocently on my laptop screen. 32 slides of memories. The doorbell started ringing at 6:45. Church friends arrived first, bringing casseroles despite my protests. Then came Michael's college roommate, now a successful dentist with his wife. Aunt Ruth, Tom's sister, who'd never liked Jessica. The Johnsons from next door. Jessica's co-workers. I'd been especially careful to invite her supervisor. By 7:15, 28 people filled my living room and kitchen, chatting, worried about poor Michael and Jessica's ordeal. "I heard they were threatened by loan sharks," whispered Mrs. Patterson from church. Sarah canceled her Italy trip to help them, Dorothy told anyone who'd listen, gave them her entire vacation fund. What a devoted mother, someone murmured. At 7:25, fashionably late as always, Michael, Jessica, and Linda arrived. They looked spectacular. Golden tans, Michael in a new designer polo, Jessica wearing a sundress I'd never seen, carrying a Louis Vuitton purse. Linda practically glowed with her fresh spa treatment. "You all look so refreshed," Aunt Ruth observed, her tone sharp, considering your ordeal. Jessica's smile flickered. "Well, we tried to stay strong." "So brave," I said, hugging my son. He felt stiff in my arms. "Come, everyone's been so worried." They moved through the crowd, accepting sympathy and concern. Jessica spun their tale of terror, voice cracking at just the right moments. "Those men were so scary. We didn't sleep for days." "But you look so well rested," observed Dr. Kim, Michael's old pediatrician. "Adrenaline," Michael said quickly, "finally crashing now that we're safe." I served dinner, playing the perfect hostess. Linda complimented my lasagna while avoiding my eyes. She knew something was off but couldn't place it. At 8 p.m., I clinked my glass. "Everyone, I've prepared something special, a little slideshow of family memories to remind us what's really important after such a frightening week." "Mom," Michael started, "that's really not—" "Nonsense! Everyone gather round!" People settled on couches and chairs, wine glasses in hand. I dimmed the lights and started the slideshow. The first 10 slides were perfect. Baby Michael, Tom teaching him to fish, Jessica and Michael's wedding. Collective awes filled the room. Then slide 11 appeared, a screenshot of the cruise booking confirmation from 2 months ago. The murmuring started immediately. "Is that?" someone whispered. Slide 12, Jessica in her yellow bikini, cocktail in hand, Tuesday afternoon, when she was supposedly hiding from dangerous debt collectors. The room went silent. Slide 13, the video thumbnail, Jessica mid-laugh, captioned, "Some people are too old and boring to know what living means." Michael jumped up. "Mom, what is this?" "Just memories, honey. Sit down." But no one was looking at him anymore. They were all staring at the wall, where the truth kept unfolding, slide by damning slide. Slide 14 filled the wall. Michael parasailing, grinning wildly, his post reading, "Best day ever. Sometimes you have to treat yourself." "That's from this week," Dr. Kim said slowly, "while you were supposedly terrified." Jessica stood up, her face flushed. "This is a misunderstanding." Slide 15, Jessica and Linda at the ship's spa, champagne glasses raised. The caption, "Getting pampered with my real mom, hatch best mile of her." Aunt Ruth gasped. "Your real mom?" The slideshow continued relentlessly. Slide 16, the Rolex on Michael's wrist. Slide 17, shopping bags from luxury boutiques. Slide 18, Linda's new pearl necklace. "You told me you were tapped out," I said quietly to Linda, "that you'd already lent them $5,000 for the mortgage." Linda's mouth opened and closed like a fish. Slide 19 appeared, the itemized receipt I'd found on the cruise line's website showing a booking for 3 people, paid 2 months ago. Total cost, $12,847. "My God," breathed Mrs. Patterson, "Sarah's Italy money." Michael tried to reach for my laptop. "Mom, stop this, please." I clicked to slide 20, my bank transfer confirmation. $13,000, sent at 2:47 a.m. Monday morning. Then slide 21. Jessica's video started playing automatically, her drunk voice filling the room. "Some people will try to keep you down with their negativity and their boring penny-pinching ways." Several guests stood to leave, disgusted, but I raised my hand. "Please, stay. There's more." "More?" Jessica shrieked. "What more could you possibly—" Slide 22, a screenshot of Michael's text to Jessica I'd found on the cloud backup, dated Sunday afternoon, hours before he called me. "Mom's Italy fund is exactly what we need. I'll cry, she'll cave, she always does." The room erupted. Aunt Ruth was on her feet. You planned this? You planned to rob your mother? It's not robbery, Jessica protested. It's family helping family. By lying? Dr. Kim stood too, his disgust evident. By terrorizing her with fake threats? Jessica's supervisor, Karen, shook her head. I've seen some low things, but this? Everyone just calm down, Linda tried. This is a family matter. You were in on it, Dorothy accused. You were on that ship. Slide 23, Linda's Facebook post from 2 weeks ago. Can't wait for our secret getaway. What Sarah doesn't know won't hurt her. The room turned on Linda now. Someone from her book club stood up. You're expelled. Don't ever come back. This is ridiculous, Linda shouted. It's just money. Sarah has plenty. Tom left her. She stopped, realizing what she'd almost said. Tom left me what? I asked calmly. Nothing. I just meant, no, please, continue. What do you think Tom left me? Michael's eyes widened. Mom, we didn't mean... Oh, but you did. You meant every bit of it. Every lie, every manipulation, every cruel post mocking the woman who gave birth to you. Jessica grabbed her purse. We're leaving. This is harassment. Sit down, I said, my voice steel. Robert, I think it's time. Robert Hayes stood up from the corner where he'd been quietly watching. Everyone turned to stare at the man in the expensive suit holding a leather briefcase. Who are you? Jessica demanded. Robert smiled. The family lawyer. Mrs. Foster, shall I? Please do. The room was electric with tension as Robert opened his briefcase. Michael had gone pale, sinking into a chair. Jessica stood frozen, her designer purse clutched like a shield. Ladies and gentlemen, Robert began, his courtroom voice commanding attention. I'm Robert Hayes, executor of Thomas Foster's estate. What I'm about to share has been confidential until now, at Mrs. Foster's request. What estate? Michael whispered. Dad was a middle manager. Your father, Robert continued, was CFO of Technova Solutions when it went public in 2018. His stock options and investments, properly managed, created a trust worth approximately $2 million. The room exploded. Jessica's purse hit the floor. Linda sat down hard on the nearest chair. Michael's mouth hung open. 2 million, he croaked. However, Robert raised his voice over the chaos. Mr. Foster was a careful man. He included specific provisions in the trust. I'll read from Section 7, subsection 3. Any beneficiary who commits fraud, theft, financial abuse, or deception against Sarah Foster shall immediately forfeit all rights to their inheritance. No, Jessica breathed. No, no, no. Michael Foster was set to inherit $1 million upon his mother's passing, Robert continued. However, given the evidence presented tonight, the premeditated fraud, the conspiracy to deceive Mrs. Foster out of $13,000, the emotional abuse, it was a joke, Jessica screamed. The posts were jokes. We were always going to pay her back. When? I asked quietly. You've been back 2 days. Not one word about repayment. We needed time. You needed time to shop for Rolexes? Michael stood up shakily. Mom, please. I'm your son, your only child. Yes, I said. And you called me crying. You said men were threatening Jessica. You said they knew where I lived. You terrorized me, Michael, your own mother. I didn't mean... You texted Jessica that I always cave. Was that a mistake too? Tears ran down his face now, real tears, unlike the fake ones from Sunday night. Mom, please, don't do this. We made a mistake. You made a choice. Multiple choices for 2 months. Jessica turned on Michael, her voice venomous. This is your fault. You said she'd never find out about the trust. You said she was too stupid. I never said stupid, Michael protested. You said simple. Same thing. They were turning on each other now, the perfect couple crumbling. Linda tried to slip toward the door, but Aunt Ruth blocked her path. Sit down, Linda. You're part of this. Robert cleared his throat. There's more. The trust has a secondary provision. In cases of fraud, the injured party, that's you, Mrs. Foster, can pursue criminal charges. Fraud over $10,000 is a felony in this state. Jessica's legs gave out. She collapsed onto the couch, sobbing. Real tears this time. "You can't! My career! My reputation!" "Your reputation?" Dorothy laughed bitterly. "You posted videos mocking the woman you robbed." "We'll pay it back," Michael begged. "Every penny. With interest." "With what?" I asked. "You're broke. That's why you stole from me." "I'll work 3 jobs. Jessica will too. Mom, please." The room watched me, waiting. 30 people who'd seen my humiliation, who'd witnessed the truth. I felt their support, their anger on my behalf. But I looked at my son, my baby boy, now a stranger who'd betrayed me for a cruise, and felt only disappointment. "Robert," I said, "continue." "Mrs. Foster," Robert said, "has instructed me to present 2 options to you, Michael." Michael wiped his face, trying to compose himself. The entire room leaned forward. Option 1. Mrs. Foster files criminal charges for fraud. The evidence is overwhelming. Screenshots, bank records, witnesses. You'll likely face jail time. Jessica, as co-conspirator, would face the same. The trust provisions activate immediately, and you forfeit your entire inheritance. Jessica made a sound like a wounded animal. "Please, no. Please." "Option 2, Robert continued. "Mrs. Foster shows mercy. No criminal charges. However, several conditions apply." "Anything," Michael said immediately. "Whatever she wants." Robert pulled out a document. "First, full repayment of the $13,000 within 6 months. Legally binding contract. Second, mandatory financial counseling for both of you. Third, gambling addiction treatment for Jessica." "I'm not addicted," Jessica protested. "The cruise was paid for with casino winnings from online gambling," I said quietly. "I tracked the payment source. You've been gambling with your paychecks for 2 years." Jessica's face crumbled. Even Michael looked shocked. "Fourth," Robert continued, "public apology. Written letters to everyone present tonight acknowledging what you did. Fifth, no contact with Mrs. Foster for 1 year unless she initiates it." "A year?" Michael gasped. "Mom, please." "Let him finish," I said. "Finally, your inheritance is reduced to $100,000, placed in a trust you cannot access until age 45, and only then if you've shown consistent employment and financial responsibility. From $1 million to $100,000, Linda muttered, then caught herself. "As for you, Mrs. Morrison," Robert turned to Linda, "you're not a beneficiary, but conspiracy to commit fraud is also prosecutable." Linda went white. I didn't. It was their idea." "Your Facebook posts suggest otherwise," Robert said mildly. The room was silent except for Jessica's sobbing. Michael stared at me with desperate eyes. "Mom," he whispered, "please, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." "Sorry you got caught," Aunt Ruth muttered. "I need an answer," Robert said. "Option 1 or option 2? Michael looked at Jessica, who was beyond responding, mascara streaming down her cheeks. "Option 2. Please, God, option 2. "Jessica?" Robert prompted. "You need to agree as well." "Yes," she choked out. "Yes, whatever. Just don't send us to jail." Robert produced contracts. "Sign here, and here, initial here." As they signed with shaking hands, I stood up. The room parted for me as I walked to face my son. "Michael, look at me." He raised his red eyes. "You broke my heart. Not because of the money. I would have given you anything if you'd asked honestly. But you made me afraid. You used my love as a weapon against me. You laughed at my pain. Mom, I'm not your mom right now. Right now, I'm a woman who discovered her son as a stranger. Maybe someday we can rebuild, but that's on you to earn." I turned to the room. "Thank you all for coming. Please take food home. I made too much." People began moving, hugging me, whispering support. Jessica ran for the bathroom. Michael sat frozen. Linda slipped out without a word. But the story wasn't over yet. As guests gathered their things, offering me hugs and words of support, Jessica emerged from the bathroom, her face blotchy, but her expression hard. "You think you've won," she said, loud enough for everyone to stop. "But you're just a bitter old woman who'll die alone." The room went ice cold. Michael grabbed her arm. "Jess, stop. No!" She shook him off. She humiliated us, in front of everyone. You humiliated yourself, Karen, her supervisor, said quietly. And Monday morning, we need to discuss your future at the company. Fraud isn't something we take lightly. Jessica's face went white. You can't fire me for something personal. I can fire you for character issues that affect our company's reputation. You posted those videos publicly, Jessica. Our clients can see them. I'll delete them. Screenshots last forever, Dorothy said, holding up her phone. I've got them all. Jessica turned her rage back on me. This is your fault. You've ruined everything. My marriage, my job. Your marriage? Michael laughed bitterly. You think we have a marriage? You used me to get to my mother's money. We planned it together. You planned it. You said she was loaded, that she was selfish for not sharing. You agreed. You made the call. They were screaming at each other now, their perfect facade shattered completely. Aunt Ruth stepped forward. Enough, you're both pathetic. Sarah, do you want us to stay? No, I said calmly. Let them go. Michael grabbed Jessica's arm. We're leaving. Don't touch me, she yanked away. I'm calling my mother. We're getting a divorce. Good. I never wanted to marry you anyway. You begged me. You trapped me. They stormed out, still screaming. Through the window, we watched them argue in the driveway until Linda's car screeched up. Jessica threw herself in, and they sped away. Michael stood alone in the rain that had started falling, his new polo soaked through. He looked back at the house, at me standing in the window. For a moment, he was 8 years old again, scared and lonely. Then he got in his car and drove away. Good riddance, someone said. But I felt no satisfaction, only exhaustion and grief for the son I thought I'd raised. Robert was the last to leave. You did the right thing, Sarah. Did I? I just destroyed my son's life. No, he destroyed it. You just refused to enable it. He handed me a card. My colleague handles divorces. Michael will need her. After everyone left, I sat in my empty house, surrounded by barely touched food. The slideshow was still frozen on the last image, our family Christmas from 5 years ago, when Tom was alive and Michael still looked at me with love. My phone buzzed, a text from an unknown number. This is Linda. You're a vindictive witch. Jessica is having a breakdown. I hope you're happy. I deleted it without responding. Another buzz. Michael. Mom, I'm sorry. I know you won't believe me, but I never wanted it to go this far. Jessica said you'd never find out. She said you could afford it. I was weak and stupid and greedy. I love you. I'm sorry. I typed back. 1 year, Michael. Honor the contract. Get help. Become the man your father would be proud of. Then we'll talk. I will. I promise. I turned off my phone. Tomorrow, I'd start rebuilding my life. Tonight, I just needed to grieve the family I'd lost, or maybe never had. 2 weeks passed in a blur. Word spread through our community like wildfire. The age of social media meant everyone knew everything. Jessica's meltdown videos from the party somehow ended up online, shared in local Facebook groups with captions like, "Karma is real" and "Don't mess with Mom." I received dozens of messages from strangers who'd been scammed by family members. Their stories broke my heart. Daughters who emptied retirement accounts, sons who stole identities, grandchildren who preyed on love. I wasn't alone in this betrayal. Then came the legal documents. Jessica had filed for divorce, claiming irreconcilable differences. Michael didn't contest it. He'd moved back into their house while she stayed with Linda. According to Aunt Ruth, who had sources everywhere, they were fighting over who had to pay back the $13,000. Week 3 brought an unexpected visitor. I was gardening, trying to find peace in my roses, when Linda's car pulled up. My stomach clenched, but it was Michael who got out. He looked terrible, unshaven, thin, hollow-eyed. "It hasn't been a year," I said, not getting up from my knees. "I know. I'm not staying. He pulled an envelope from his pocket. "First payment, $2,000. I sold the Rolex and some other stuff." I took the envelope without standing. "Thank you." "Mom, I need to tell you something." "Michael, please, just listen." He sat on the grass, ruining his jeans. "Dad would be ashamed of me. I know that. I've been thinking about him constantly. Remember when I was 10 and stole $20 from your purse? I remembered. Tom had made Michael do chores for a month to earn it back. He said something I never forgot until I forgot it. He said, "Son, when you steal from family, you steal from yourself, because family is who you are." Your father was wise. I stole from myself, Mom. I stole my own mother, my inheritance, my marriage, everything. For what? A cruise I don't even remember enjoying because I knew what we'd done. Michael, Jessica's been gambling for 3 years. Did you know that? 3 years. We're in debt up to our eyeballs. The cruise was supposed to be one last hurrah before declaring bankruptcy. We figured we'd use your money, have fun, then claim we couldn't pay you back because of the bankruptcy. The cruelty of it took my breath away. "I'm in therapy now," he continued, "twice a week. The therapist says I have codependency issues. I let Jessica control everything because it was easier than standing up to her, just like I never stood up when she insulted you. Why are you telling me this? Because you deserve the whole truth, and because I want you to know I'm changing, really changing. I got 2 jobs, delivering pizzas at night, warehouse work during the day. I'll pay you back every penny." It's not about the money, Michael. I know. It's about trust, respect, love, everything I threw away. He stood up. "I won't bother you again until the year is up. But Mom, thank you for option 2. Prison would have been easier than facing what I've become." He walked to his car, not the BMW he'd been driving, I noticed, but an old Honda. "Michael?" He turned. "Your father would be proud that you're trying to change." His face crumpled, but he just nodded and drove away. Month 4 brought the shock that changed everything. Robert called on a Tuesday morning. "Sarah, are you sitting down? What's wrong?" "Nothing's wrong. In fact, Jessica's gambling problem just solved your financial case." "What do you mean?" "She won. She hit a massive online poker jackpot 2 nights ago, $847,000. I nearly dropped the phone. "What?" "Linda's been bragging all over Facebook. Jessica's already shopping for a new condo. Here's the thing, that money is marital property. Michael's lawyer just filed an emergency motion. Half of it is his in the divorce." "He doesn't know yet?" "He's about to find out. But Sarah, this means he can pay you back immediately, the full amount plus damages for fraud. My colleague is handling it." I sat in stunned silence. The universe had a twisted sense of humor. That afternoon, Michael called from a number I didn't recognize. "Mom, did you hear?" "Robert told me. My lawyer says I can get over $400,000 in the divorce. Mom, I'm paying you back everything today. The $13,000 plus the $3,000 you lost in cancellation fees plus interest. Then I'm putting the rest toward my debts." "Michael, no, listen. Jessica's keeping the winnings a secret from Linda. She's already put a deposit on a condo and told her mother she can't live there. Linda's furious. They're fighting worse than Jess and I ever did." The poetic justice was almost too perfect. "There's more," Michael continued. "Karen fired Jessica. Turns out she'd been gambling on company time, using company computers. They found evidence going back years. She's unemployable in her field now." "I don't take pleasure in that, Michael." "I know you don't. You're not that kind of person. That's what makes what we did even worse." He paused. "Mom, the therapist wants to know if you'd consider family counseling after the year is up. Only if you want to." "We'll see. That's more than I deserve. Oh, and Mom, I kept one thing from the cruise." "What?" "A photo. The 3 of us at dinner the first night. We look so happy. But I can see it now, the guilt in my eyes. I keep it to remind myself that lies never lead to real happiness." That evening, I received a wire transfer, $20,000. A note came with it. "The extra is for pain and suffering. It doesn't cover it, but it's a start. M." I stared at the number in my bank account, more than enough to rebook Italy. But somehow, the dream had changed. Italy was where I'd planned to go with Tom, then alone to grieve him. Now I needed a different journey. I called Robert. "Can I modify the no-contact order?" "You can do anything you want, Sarah. It's your terms." I want to add something. Michael needs to send me monthly letters, not about money or apologies, just life, what he's learning, who he's becoming. That's unusual. I lost my son long before that cruise, Robert. Maybe letters can help us find each other again. I'll draft the modification. That night, I booked a different trip. Alaska. Somewhere Tom and I had never planned to go, somewhere entirely mine, entirely. The future was uncertain, but for the first time in months, I felt hope. Can you believe it? $800,000 from gambling right when she needed it most. Sometimes the universe has its own justice. If you think Jessica got what she deserved, comment karma below. If you think Michael deserves forgiveness, comment second chance. Your responses help me understand what resonates with you. And please, share this story with anyone who needs to hear that it's okay to set boundaries, even with family. Especially with family. Now let me tell you how this all ended, because Michael's letters revealed something none of us expected. The letters started arriving exactly 1 month after the money transfer. The first one was awkward, formal. Dear Mom, as required by our agreement, I'm writing to update you on my life. I'm working 2 jobs. Going to therapy, eating mostly ramen, not much else to report. Michael. But by the 3rd letter, something shifted. Dear Mom, my therapist asked me to write about a happy memory with you. I remembered when I was 7 and had the flu. You stayed up all night putting cool washcloths on my forehead and singing that Beatles song, Blackbird. You said I was learning to fly with broken wings. I didn't understand then. I do now. The 4th letter broke me. I dream about Dad sometimes. He's always disappointed. Last night, he asked me why I hurt you. I couldn't answer. How do you explain becoming someone you don't recognize? Meanwhile, Jessica's world imploded spectacularly. Dorothy, my intelligence network of 1, kept me informed. Jessica's gambling addiction spiraled after the big win. Within 3 months, she'd lost half of it back to online casinos. The IRS came calling about taxes on the winnings. Her new condo fell through when she couldn't secure financing without a job. Linda posted increasingly frantic Facebook updates. Some people don't appreciate their mothers until it's too late. And family should stick together through thick and thin. The irony was lost on her. Month 6 brought Michael's payment in full. Every penny of the $13,000, plus the fees I'd lost. His letter that month was different. Mom, I've been promoted to warehouse supervisor. It's not much, but it's honest work. My hands have calluses now. Dad would laugh, his soft son finally learning what real work means. I've been volunteering at a financial literacy center, teaching people about predatory loans and gambling addiction. Turns out, my mess can help others avoid theirs. P.S. Jessica married some guy she met in Vegas. It lasted 3 weeks. I actually laughed at that postscript. Month 8. His letter contained a photo. Michael at the Financial Literacy Center, surrounded by elderly clients he was helping with budgeting. He looked healthier, cleaner. His eyes had clarity I hadn't seen in years. These folks remind me of you, Mom. Careful with money, proud, independent. Mrs. Chen, no relation, told me her son tried something similar to what I did. I helped her set up protections. It felt like penance? Balance? I don't know. But for the first time in years, I slept without shame. Month 10. Mom, I know we have 2 months left, but I need to tell you something. Jessica called. She's broke, homeless, living in Linda's garage. Linda mortgaged her house to cover Jessica's gambling debts. They're both destroyed. She begged me to take her back. I said no. The therapist says that's growth. It feels like freedom. Month 11 arrived with November snow and a longer letter. Mom, it's almost been a year. I don't know if you'll want to see me. I wouldn't blame you if you didn't, but I need you to know you saved me. Not from jail, from myself. That party, that humiliation, that consequence, it was the shock I needed. I was drowning in Jessica's chaos and my own weakness. You threw me a lifeline disguised as punishment. I'm grateful. Your son, if I can still call myself that, Michael. I sat with that letter for a long time, snow falling outside, remembering the little boy who once believed his mother could fix anything. Maybe I still could. Day 365 arrived on a Sunday. I woke to my doorbell at exactly noon, precisely 1 year from when I'd banished Michael from my life. He stood on my porch holding a small potted plant, a peace lily. His appearance had transformed. Gone was the soft, entitled man-child. This Michael was leaner, his face weathered from actual work, his clothes simple but clean. He looked like Tom had at that age, honest, hard-working, real. "Hi, Mom." "Hello, Michael. May I come in?" I stepped aside. He entered carefully, like a stranger in his childhood home. We sat in the living room where the party had happened. The wall where the slideshow had played now held a new painting, Mountains in Alaska, which I'd bought on my solo trip. "You went to Alaska?" "I did. 3 weeks. It was magnificent." "Good. That's good." Silence stretched between us, not hostile but heavy with unspoken words. "Mom, I practiced this speech 100 times, but now—" He set the plant on the coffee table. "I'll just say it. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm asking for the chance to earn it, however long that takes." "What does that look like to you?" "Dinner, maybe? Once a month? You pick the place. We talk or don't talk, whatever you need." "And if I say no?" His shoulders sagged, but he nodded. "Then I respect that. And I thank you for the second chance you already gave me. The money from Jessica's winnings. I kept none of it beyond paying you and my debts. The rest went to gambling addiction charities." That surprised me. "All of it?" "Every penny. It was poison money, built on lies and addiction." He pulled out his phone, showing me receipts. $73,000 donated, in Dad's name. My throat tightened. Tom would have liked that. "I'm seeing someone," he said suddenly, then blushed. "Not romantically. A sponsor, through Codependence Anonymous. Jessica wasn't the only one with an addiction. Mine was to avoiding conflict, to taking the easy path, to letting others make my choices. And now? Now I make my own choices, and live with the consequences." He stood. "That's all I wanted to say. Thank you for seeing me." He was at the door when I spoke. "Michael," he turned. "First Thursday of every month. Dorothy's Diner, 6 p.m. Don't be late." His face transformed, not with the easy charm of before, but with genuine, humble gratitude. "I won't. I promise." After he left, I picked up the peace lily. It was small but healthy, with one white bloom reaching toward the light. The pot had a note tied to it. "Mom, peace lilies are resilient. They can survive neglect, poor conditions, even near death, but with proper care, they bloom again. Thank you for teaching me I could bloom again. M." I placed it in the kitchen window where it would get morning sun. Like trust, like love, like family, it would need careful tending to grow, but it was a start. That evening, Dorothy called. "Saw Michael leaving. You okay?" "I'm good." "Really?" I looked at the little plant already perking up in the sunlight. "Really? We're starting over, properly this time." "Sarah Foster, you're a stronger woman than most." "No," I said. "I just finally learned that love means sometimes saying no, and forgiveness means waiting until someone earns their yes." Our first dinner was awkward. Michael arrived 10 minutes early, wearing a simple button-down shirt, not designer, just clean and pressed. We talked about safe things, the weather, his job, my garden. But even small talk felt monumental after a year of silence. "I make $52,000 a year now," he said over coffee. "It's not much, but it's mine, earned honestly." "That's more than honest work, Michael. That's dignity." Month by month, dinner by dinner, we rebuilt. Not our old relationship. That was gone forever. Something new. Something more honest. By the 6th dinner, he could joke. "Remember when I was 16 and swore I'd be a millionaire by 30? You were so certain. Turns out Dad was right. He said, 'Money earned fast leaves faster. Money earned slow tends to grow.' When did he tell you that?" "Right before he got sick. I didn't listen then." He paused. "I listen now." Month 8 brought unexpected news. Michael had been promoted again, to regional supervisor. It came with a significant raise and the chance to develop financial literacy programs statewide. "They want me to share my story," he said, "the whole ugly truth, as a cautionary tale. Will you?" "Already have. Spoke at 3 community centers. Mom, the number of people trapped in gambling addiction, in toxic relationships, in financial abuse. It's staggering." "And Jessica?" His face darkened. "Last I heard, she was in Atlantic City with husband number 3. Linda lost her house. They're estranged now. Jessica blames her for enabling her gambling." The irony was breathtaking. Year 2 of our rebuilding brought another surprise. Michael started dating a teacher named Amy who ran financial literacy workshops with him. She was everything Jessica wasn't: calm, grounded, genuinely kind. "I want you to meet her," he said at dinner, "but only if you're ready." I met Amy the next month. She was lovely, not in Jessica's flashy way, but in her warmth, her intelligence, her obvious love for my son. "Michael told me everything," she said simply. "It takes courage to own your mistakes that completely." "It takes more courage to trust someone who's made those mistakes," I replied. She smiled. "Everyone deserves a second chance. Not a third or fourth, but one real second chance." I liked her immediately. The peace lily bloomed continuously now, having grown so large I'd had to repot it twice. Like my relationship with Michael, carefully tended, slowly growing, surprisingly resilient. 3 years after that horrible cruise, I stood in my backyard watching Michael and Amy exchange wedding vows. Small ceremony, 20 guests, no Linda, no Jessica. That chapter was closed forever. Robert Hayes officiated. Turned out he was also ordained. "Marriage," he said, "is built on trust. Once broken, trust must be earned back daily through small acts of honesty and love." Michael's eyes found mine. We both knew those words weren't just about marriage. "I now pronounce you husband and wife." As they kissed, I thought of Tom. He would have been proud of the man Michael had become, not the man we'd raised. That man had lost his way, but the man who'd found himself in the wreckage of his choices. Sometimes the greatest gift you can give your child isn't protection from consequences. It's letting them face those consequences and discover who they really are. 5 years have passed since that cruise that changed everything. Michael and Amy have a daughter now, Sarah Jr., though they call her Sadie. She has Tom's eyes and Michael's stubborn chin. When they asked if they could name her after me, I cried for the first time in years. "You sure?" I'd asked. "That name carries history." "Good history," Amy said firmly. "The history of a woman who stood up for herself, who taught her son that actions have consequences, who showed that love sometimes means letting someone fall." Michael's financial literacy program has expanded to 12 states. He tells his story at every seminar, the whole truth. The cruise, the betrayal, the $13,000, the inheritance he lost. People listen because he doesn't sugarcoat it. "I stole from my mother," he always begins. "Not just money. I stole her trust, her dreams, her belief in me. This is how I fell, and this is how she helped me get back up, by letting me hit rock bottom first." Jessica resurfaces occasionally in gossip. Dorothy heard she's in federal prison for wire fraud. Apparently, she moved from gambling to running online scams. Linda lives in a small apartment in Nevada, working as a casino hostess. The irony isn't lost on anyone. "Do you ever regret it?" Michael asked me last month. We were sitting in my garden, watching Sadie chase butterflies. "The party? The humiliation? Do you?" He thought for a long moment. "No. I regret what led to it. I regret hurting you. But the party, that was my wake-up call. Without it, I'd probably be in prison with Jessica. Or worse." "Then I don't regret it either." Amy joined us, carrying iced tea. "Michael's speaking at the state capitol next week. They're considering his program for federal funding." "Tom would be so proud," I said. "Of both of us," Michael added. "You for standing strong, me for finally growing up." The trust fund remains, managed by Robert. Michael will inherit something when I pass. Not the full $1 million he'd lost, but enough to secure Sadie's education. He doesn't know the amount and doesn't ask. "I'm just grateful to be in your life," he says. "The money doesn't matter anymore." And I believe him. Last week, I finally took that trip to Italy. Not alone. Dorothy came with me. We walked through Florence, ate gelato in Rome, rode gondolas in Venice. I sent Michael postcards from every city. "Mom, you were always supposed to see Italy," he texted. "I'm just sorry it took so long." "Everything happens when it's meant to," I replied. Standing on a bridge in Venice, watching the sunset paint the water gold, I thought about the journey, the betrayal that broke my heart, the party that shocked everyone, the consequences that saved my son, the rebuilding that made us stronger. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is refuse to enable someone's destruction, even when that someone is your own child, especially then. I'm 63 now. Michael is 37. The boy who once cried fake tears for cruise money is now a man who testifies before Congress about predatory lending and gambling addiction. Last Christmas, our first with Sadie old enough to understand presents, Michael handed me an envelope. "Open it," Amy urged, bouncing Sadie on her hip. Inside were 2 tickets to Italy, first class, 3 weeks, every detail planned. "Michael, this must have cost my entire bonus, and worth every penny." He knelt beside my chair, looking more like Tom than ever. "Mom, I can't undo what I did. I can't give you back the Italy trip you lost 5 years ago, but I can give you a better one, with someone who actually wants to celebrate you." The second ticket had Amy's name. "You're taking me to Italy," Amy laughed. "Girls' trip while Michael watches Sadie. He insisted." "You barely know me," I protested. "I know you saved my husband from himself. That's enough." We leave next month. I'm teaching Amy the Italian phrases I learned years ago. She's teaching me to trust again, not just Michael, but the possibility of new family, new love, new dreams. Robert retired last year but still sends Christmas cards. His last one included a note. "Sarah, you taught me something. Sometimes the law isn't about punishment, it's about redemption. Michael's story has helped hundreds of families. That's Tom's real legacy." The peace lily has become a monster plant, taking over my kitchen window. I've divided it dozens of times, giving starts to friends. Each one comes with a note. Like trust, it grows slowly but surely with proper care. People sometimes ask if I forgive Michael completely. Forgiveness isn't a destination, I tell them. It's a daily choice. Some days are easier than others. And Jessica? I nothing Jessica. She's a cautionary tale I hope learned something from her consequences. But mostly people ask how I found the strength to stand up at that party, to expose the truth, to risk losing my only child forever. The answer is simple. Love isn't just about giving. It's about knowing when to stop giving. It's about teaching hard lessons even when they break your heart. It's about believing someone can change, but not enabling them until they do. My story isn't unique. Every day, parents face children who've lost their way. Every day, someone chooses between enabling and tough love. I chose tough love. It nearly destroyed us. Then it saved us. And now, watching my son teach others to avoid his mistakes, holding my granddaughter, who will never know that version of her father, planning trips with a daughter-in-law who respects boundaries. I know I made the right choice. The hardest choice. But the right one. That's my story. From betrayal to redemption. From $13,000 stolen to a relationship rebuilt. It took years, tears, and tremendous courage from both Michael and me. What do you think? Did I handle it right? Should I have forgiven him sooner, or was the year apart necessary? Share your thoughts below. Your perspective helps others facing similar situations. If this story resonated with you, please subscribe and share it with someone who needs to hear that boundaries aren't cruel, they're necessary, that consequences aren't punishment, they're teaching moments, and that sometimes the most loving thing you can do is let someone face the truth. Thank you for listening. I'll see you next week with another story about family, boundaries, and the courage to stand up for yourself.